welcome everybody to today's class. Again, we're doing advanced phrasal verbs and idioms. I'm just going to turn my screen off to make sure that that's not... Oh, and I'm going to put my microphone on, otherwise you won't be able to hear me properly. Now, again, we're doing advanced phrasal verbs and idioms. You've probably seen from the screen, from the thumbnail that I'm showing my book, and this is because I try to sell this book at the start and at the end of every class. If you want a good book on phrasal verbs, I recommend my book. It's selling really well, and I'm really pleased about that. So please keep supporting me, keep buying my book, and I'll keep making these lessons, no doubt about it. Every time I sell another PDF from my website, which is skype-lessons.com, it cheers me up and it makes me think I'm going to make another YouTube video. So this book's got all of the phrasal verbs that I've come across, certainly 95% of them. It's a very big book. It's about 320 pages long, and that's the condensed version where it's been squashed together. This one's slightly thicker because this one wasn't squashed together. I squashed it together to make it cheaper. And you can buy this book on Amazon in black and white for £20, or you can buy the colour version with hyperlinks from my website. And if you buy it from my website, you get 3 extra ebooks for TV shows. So there's a good reason to buy it in a PDF form. You do get a lot extra for free. You get Mindhunter, Line of Duty, and House of Cards. You get exercises for those TV shows, which have loads of phrasal verbs in them as well, loads from this book. So please consider going to my website right now and buying that book. Now, the phrases today are all from Advanced Phrasal Verbs and Idioms, and that's chapters 38 and 39, and you can find this very easily by looking online. And so if you want exercises for this vocabulary, you get it from that book, Advanced Phrasal Verbs and Idioms. Unfortunately, that's not my book, but it's still a good book. Now, the first one, for all I care. You normally put this on the end of a sentence. You say something like, he can sack me for all I care. And that means he can sack me and I don't care. So you put this for all I care, or for all he cares, or for all they care, at the end of the sentence to say that they really don't care, or he really doesn't care, if that's the case, if that happens. Okay, so very, very common to see this at the end of the sentence. Something like, it could be anything. It could be, he can take money off my wages for all I care. And it means, I don't care if he wants to do that. Let him do that. I don't care. I'm not bothered. Okay? Now, the next one. That's all very well for somebody to say something. You normally say this when you're not impressed by a comment that somebody has made. And you show that you're not impressed about this comment by saying something like, that's all very well for my boss to say that, I don't know, we have to work an extra 2 hours every day, but I'm not very impressed by it. I'm not happy about this idea. Yeah, that's all very well for him to say, but I'm not happy about this idea. So this is quite common, and it's when you're not impressed with somebody's comment or somebody's remark, and that's why it's usually the verb to say here. It's all very well for him to say, but you could say to claim, to tell me. Any other verb of speaking will work here, and it's when you're not impressed with their comment, when you think that it's a bad comment, or that it doesn't matter to them, but it matters to me. And that's why I gave you the example of extra work. Yeah, it's all very well for our boss to talk about moving. The rest of us, it means an extra hour of work every day, something like that. Now, if you say by far, this is often used with superlatives and comparatives. But if you say, this is the best film I've seen by far, it means it's really good, it's amazing, it's better than all the rest. And you can also say, this is far and away the best film I've ever seen. Yeah, or you could say, this is far and away the best book I've ever read or I've ever seen on phrasal verbs. And so you can just use this to make something even stronger, especially superlatives. If you say well and truly, this means kind of completely, and it's very informal. If you know, some of these are quite formal. I'd say that this one's neutral or formal, this one. But these two are quite informal, and this one's quite informal. And if you say something like, he is well and truly finished this project. It means I've completely finished it. It's finally done, and it's done and dusted. It's finished. It's well and truly finished. Yeah, and so completely. This just emphasizes that something has been done completely. Now, if something goes on for hours on end, it means it lasts ages and ages and ages. If it goes on for years on end, if it goes on for months on end, it just means that it takes a really long time, and you're emphasizing how long that took. Now, if you say that somebody disappeared just like that, it just means that somebody disappeared suddenly and without warning. But if you say he sacked me just like that, it means he did it suddenly and without warning. You didn't expect him to do that. He just sacked me just like that, as if it were nothing. So this is quite common, just like that, and it means suddenly and without warning. Now, if somebody offers you something or gives you something else into the bar, into the deal that you have with them. So, for example, well, I can give you an example with the Phrasal Verbs book. If you buy this Phrasal Verbs book on my website, you get 3 more ebooks into the bargain. And that means you get 3 more ebooks are included in the deal. And that's what how this is used, to say that something else is added into the deal. And it usually makes it much more attractive to buy. It makes the deal more attractive, and so that's why I put the 3 extra ebooks into the bargain, to make it more attractive, to make more people buy the PDF from the website. Now, you've probably heard, if you've spent any length of time with English-speaking people, you've probably heard them say thanks ever so much. Something that English people say very often, to say thanks a lot. Thanks ever so much for whatever it was, yeah? Thanks ever so much for the lovely present. Thanks ever so much for picking me up from the airport. Thanks ever so much. And this ever so or ever such, he's ever such a nice man, or it's ever such a good book, yeah? Something like that. It's how you say it's really good, or thanks very much. That's all that means, thanks ever so much. And so remember that it's ever so plus adjective. If it's just an adjective and not a noun, or adjective or determiner here, ever so much, that's a determiner, and determiners are a type of adjective, but here actually it's not a determiner, but that's for another class. But if you want an adjective afterwards with no noun, you use so, and if you want a noun, maybe with an adjective before it, yeah,